Hello everyone, my name is David. Welcome to the Q&A Mondays, where I do every single Monday, and welcome new subscribers. Channel's growing well. Thank you for subscribing and supporting me in this channel. For those of you who are new, this is a question and answer video. I do this every single Monday. Please ask me anything you want down in the comment section below. Just ask me a question and stay tuned for the next Q&A video the next Monday, okay? So today I'm answering questions from people that asked me in the last Q&A Monday or last Q&A video last Monday, okay? All I ask you guys is please give me your locations. Tell us where you are at, where you're from, things like this. I like to know, other people like to know. A little sense of unity, community, a little validation, okay? Thanks. First, I want to thank you, Meredith, and I'm hoping I'm saying this right, Hanife. If I'm not, I'm sorry. I want to thank both of you very much for your contribution, your donation to the channel, your efforts, your gesture, your support is amazing, uncanny, great. It really helps keep me going. Not that I would stop without it, but it makes it so much nicer, so much rewarding. I know you guys, all of you work hard for your money, and thank you for giving me some to, let me know I'm doing a good job or I've helped you, The word help is subjective, right? I don't know if I'm helping anyone unless someone tells me, okay? That's not something we assume. So thank you very much for your support. I like to make recommendations every week. Usually I'll recommend somebody that has some work involving narcissistic abuse, awareness, recovery, support, healing, growing, stuff like this. And a lot of it's pretty serious information today, this week. I'd like to just recommend a couple fun things to watch for entertainment purposes. It is about narcissists. I get asked this quite a bit. David, do you know any movies or TV shows that have to do with narcissists or have narcissists in them? Yes, there are quite a few. What I find amazing about when the stuff I recommend, these two things I'm going to recommend, is just how on point it is. The writer, I'm telling you, the writer who wrote the movie and the television series I'm going to recommend, the writers have to have their own experience with narcissistic abuse, or they're writing about someone they know. The movie is actually a true story. The movie I would like to recommend, and I'm sorry if you guys most of you know about this or seen it, but the movie is called Bernie, and it's a real dark comedy. It came out in 2011 starring Jack Black and Shirley MacLaine, and I thought it was a great movie. It was really fun to watch, but Shirley MacLaine plays a narcissist in it, and it is just on point. But it's a true story. So the writer of that, wrote the story as it happened, but man, the person it's about is obviously disorder, abusive. But Jack Black is an amazing actor in this movie. Does a great job. He's just hilarious. So it's entertaining. It's fun. We're all at different stages too, though, at our recovering from traumatic abuse. So some of the stuff, there's certain things I couldn't watch in the beginning of my recovery. I couldn't watch violence. I couldn't watch things that were fake and false and stuff. But now I can enjoy stuff like this. Watching narcissists doesn't irritate me, bother me, make me mad, angry, because I've healed from my past and my own trauma. So some of this may not be something you guys, or all of you, may want to watch, okay? If it bothers you, hurts you, upsets you, don't watch it. That's simple. Maybe watch it later, another time when you feel better about all this stuff. I don't know. People react differently to different things. So I just want to put out a little bit of warning. This is about narcissists, and this might irritate you, make you angry, bring up old traumatic feelings, experiences. But Bernie is a dark comedy. I enjoyed it. I think it's a good movie, and Shirley MacLaine plays the perfect narcissist. It's amazing. And then I want to recommend a television series. Came out in 2009, 4 seasons, but complete. It didn't cut off. It completed the whole story and how long it wanted to be. It was set to be 4 seasons, and they finished it out on HBO. But this was in 2009. You can find this in different places. It's called Eastbound and Down. I will put in the description down there. I will list the movie and the television series, and I may be able to find a link to it. I don't know. But the movie's titled Eastbound and Down, 2009, 4 seasons, or the television series. And it stars Danny McBride, written by Jody Hill. And I'm telling you, Jody Hill knows about narcissists because Danny McBride plays the absolute perfect narcissist. It's not just funny. It's not just hilarious. It's not just gross and disgusting and abusive and narcissistic. And it's a comedy, but nails it to a T. And you got to watch all 4 seasons to even have an opinion on that, because down to the very last second of this series, it is full-blown narcissism. It's amazing. It's amazing. And maybe this will help you guys understand narcissists a little more. You know? So the writer, it's no mistake. The writer has to be aware. Jody Hill, I tried to look him up. I found out stuff about him and nothing about his own life, personal experience, stuff like this. But man, you can tell he knows narcissists very well. Or he knows this character very well that he wrote about it. It's actually about someone true. I don't know. I couldn't find that out either. But enjoy if you like to watch something about narcissists. They're both comedies. They're both hilarious. And they depict narcissism to, 100%. There's no doubt. Now, so enjoy. I'll try and put some links down there, okay? So let's get started with the first question, okay? All I ask, remember, is locations. Tell me where you guys are at. And this week you did wonderful. I've got a bunch of questions, some repeat questions, and I'm glad. I love it. I'm happy to answer them. I'm glad we're repeating some of this stuff because it's always new people coming on here. It's people that, aren't soaking it in, aren't getting it, or forget, need to hear it again. Okay? So good stuff. So let's get started. First question's from Julia from India. Hello, Julia. I look forward to your Q&A videos. They are very helpful. Thank you. My ex is now with some woman who lives in another continent. He said that she was the reason he got to know how horrible I was and that she opened his eyes about me. I don't even know her. How do they manage such long-distance relationships? Please help me understand what she can do better that I did not when I gave up myself to save the relationship. Thank you, David, again, and I'm sending a special prayer for you and all your good work. God bless again. Thank you, Julia. How do they manage long-distance relationships? They pick up the phone and call. Who knows what else they're doing? I think it would be easier for them. You see them less. You see how bad they are. They don't need to lie and con and manipulate and cheat on you as much. Or, they can cheat on you, but they don't have to lie about it as much. It's easy. I have a whole life over here. You don't know what I'm doing. Why do they continue relationships with someone far away? That might be confusing you. Try to realize that it's not all about physical contact. It's about how you make the narcissist feel. Emotion, body, doing things, right? They don't take care of themselves. They don't self-soothe. They don't tell themselves everything's going to be okay. They need you to do that. So if it's you on the phone on the other side of the world, okay, call me up, give me attention, tell me I'm great and unique and special and everything's going to be okay. And, that's what they're getting. Whatever they're getting, however they're feeling from that, they like it and they continue. It will continue. And they will continue and have it as much as they can, and they'll lie about what they're doing if it means losing that person. Okay, I hope that makes sense. I don't know how else to really say it or explain more. Please ask me again if you have more questions about it, and I see you do. Right here. Julia, again, would I be right in thinking that my ex-narc stole away my happiness? He'd always tell me that everyone likes you and you're always happy. I'm going to change you, he'd say to me. And I never understood what he meant. I understand now because he's taken away my smile and my zest for life. I really don't know what caused the discard and devaluation as it came upon me so suddenly. So would I be right in thinking that he probably devalued me because I was always a happy person and I love life? Please help me understand this. I'm not going to claim I know. I'm going to guess what I think. So he's taken away your smile. If he's devalued you, if he's abused you, if he's lied to you, and if he's hurt you emotionally, made you feel like a bad person, yeah, your happiness is going to decrease, of course. If you're traumatized, what always comes with any kind of trauma, usually, is depression, anxiety, bad feelings, okay? You may have been a happier person, but you needed to work on yourself, because happy people, or at least people that feel good about themselves, they don't begin relationships or at least maintain relationships with people who are abusing them, okay? So we don't let people treat us bad if we feel good. So, and I know that's hard. I know a lot of you guys say, man, I know, you know, David, I felt good before this, but you got to search deeper. And this does that for you. This experience made you dig deeper and find out who you are and how you really feel inside. Okay. I hope that makes sense. Yeah. You said you're always a happy person and you loved life, but life is the whole time here. It's not just up until that point, right? So you maybe you're young, right? If someone at 24 years old tells me, you know, I've been happy my whole life, it's like, okay, well, that's not very long, for one. Two, the younger we are, the less awareness we have. You know, I talk to people all the time, 40, 50 years old. I ask them if they've ever been anxious. Nope. Then we find out 5 minutes later they've had anxiety their whole life. They ignored how they feel. They didn't realize they weren't that happy. They thought they were. They thought they were until they were confronted in relationships, attachment, and it didn't work. It was horribly, disgustingly bad, abusive, traumatic. Now you know there's a problem. See, you didn't know that. You weren't presented with this experience yet. It took this experience for you to see inside, to see, for things to surface. Hope that makes sense. I hope you understand that, Julia. Thank you. Always, if it doesn't, ask me again. And you say, sorry, I forgot to mention that he's here and his new girlfriend is in Europe, so am confused. How does he get his supply from her if she's so far away? And Julia, I want you to know something, that most of this pain right now is because you're looking. It's because you're finding out, because you're investing your time in what she's doing, what he's doing. Okay? Try to process your relationship, what happened in your past. Try to understand all of that. You will not understand what he's doing now. You will never understand what she is thinking or why by watching Facebook photos or things like that. It must stop, Julia. You must find your answers somewhere else, not from him, not from her. Please, please, okay? Your question, why does he get supply from her if she's so far away? I believe I answered that earlier, okay? It's not always just physical contact, okay? The worse you feel, you may be able to pick yourself up and say, I'm going to be okay. He may not be able to do that. He may be dependent on somebody else to do that for him, okay? So right after they leave a bad relationship, they don't feel good either. And that's why they go rush into a new one. Because they don't know how to do things for themselves and you are no longer in the picture. They will go have somebody else do it. You guys always wonder, how do they go from me, who you're saying, I don't, whatever that means, but you notice they go and date someone who is, I hate to say is more poor, uglier, things like this. You guys can't believe this. How do they step down from me? And I don't think it's because they get to know that person, they love who that person is so much. No, I think it's desperation. I can't be by myself. Because the narcissist is going to date someone who will date them. They don't get choices, right? Because they can only choose from unhealthy people. Healthy people don't date narcissists. And that's a vast majority, you know what I mean? So they can only deal with people in this group, and they can only date people from this group. So you're gone, they go to someone else. They're impulsive, So how does he get supply from someone so far away? Like I said before, pick up the phone, answer the phone, talk to them, make them, they're addicted, literally. They must feel special all the time, unique, number one, on top. It's externally validated to them. They don't know how to do that themselves, so they need other people to do it, but it can never, ever be enough. They may feel good in the moment, but then they got to hang up the phone. And they don't believe it 100% anyways because they have such low self-esteem. Such low self-esteem. You can't make people feel better, and you can't increase their self-worth and self-esteem, by just giving them a compliment. People need to do that themselves, seriously. It helps when people are really down. You can make them feel a little better, in the moment. They still have to turn, you aren't there all the time doing it. It doesn't last forever. They've got to start doing that for themselves. Hope that makes sense, Julia. Thank you. Carlos from Guatemala. Hello. I will be 7 months of no contact. Want to share something with you. My ex-narc, she tried everything with me. Triangulation, burned bridges with my family and friends. At the end of the relationship, she blames me for everything as it was my fault. No, now things changed a lot. Someone saw her and new supply in a party, and she treats the new supply like shit. The abuse continues. You told me something a couple months ago. Leave her sickness behind and be happy and successful. Now she is avoiding my friends in my hometown. After the discard, she was looking for my friends. Now everything is different. Shame. What do you think? I'm just leaving things to flow. Working hard every day. Thanks for your help. Great. Great. I'm glad you are. You're doing good. Doing great. Try to forget about what she's doing. Try not to look. Okay? Try not to hear. You got friends telling you, updating you. Say, I don't want to hear that. Don't tell me. Sounds like she's pretty depressed. Doesn't it? You know, I don't know, but she, you know, these people are not going to help themselves, make themselves feel better. They're dependent on people. So if they don't have people in their lives, you're talking severe depression, or like a collapsed narcissist, right? I don't really know what your question is. You're saying after the discard, she was looking for your friends. Now everything is different. She's not. She gave up. So usually they're looking for people in your lives and attached to people in your lives as they lost you, because it's a way to control you. It's a way to control you, your relationship, how they feel about you, their experience. They get involved and control the people around you. They get people to convince that they're okay and that it was your fault and things like this. It helps them feel better because they can't do that themselves. Hope that makes sense. I'm glad to see you're doing well. You have more questions, just ask me, okay? Good job. Misty from Connecticut, hello. I'd love to hear about the state. Oh, I'm sorry. I'd love to hear about the stare. Sorry, the stare. It's been just about 4 months no contact, but I came across a picture of them on Instagram. Instantly blocked the account. And he even has the look in the picture of them. It literally gave me chills. I know you did a video on it, but I want to know, why don't others see it? I'm pretty sure it cut me from the first time, yet people don't see that look. One person told me he looks happy. I just said good for him and smiled because he's a miserable monster. But now do others notice it? I did from maybe 1 month into our relationship and even called him out on his evil gaze. How do others not see it when I could? Even a tiny Instagram photo. Well, maybe others see it and don't say anything, Misty. I don't know. Your friend says he looks happy because maybe he was just smiling. They're not looking too into it. But you know, if he has some weird stare, more people see it and are aware of it. Anybody tell you in your relationship, I don't know if I can trust him, not too sure about him, something's not right about him, you know? Maybe that's the vibe they got off a stare. So you're asking me is why don't people see it? Well, you did. You can't be the only one. But you still dated him, so it wasn't a big deal. Wasn't a big enough deal that he looked like a total psycho, right? You still stayed with him after a month of thinking that. So maybe other people see that and don't say anything, don't feel a need, just like you stayed with him. Don't need to tell you, don't need to say anything. Because mostly we don't say bad things about people, right? So most people are healthy and most people don't feel a need to say, hey man, that guy's eyes, weird stare. You know, if you introduce me to someone as your boyfriend, why would I say something bad about him, or he's weird, or awkward? What's up with his stare, man? You know, what's up with his hair? What's up with his teeth? You know what I mean? I don't know. I don't know how to help you more with that, but why do others not see it? Okay, let's talk about some of the people that don't see it, right? Maybe they grew up with somebody like that. Maybe their parents were like that, had stared like that. It wasn't so alarming. So unique, so different, so weird, awkward. I don't know. Thanks. Ask me again if I didn't get something. Okay? Thanks. Vivian from Hungary. Hello, Vivian. I really appreciate you doing these subscriber feedbacks. Thank you for telling me. You're welcome. My mother was my abuser. I'm no contact with her since October. She manipulated and abused me for 22 years. It became normal to me. I'm sorry. Now that I am in no contact, I begin to heal, but I still have the fear and stress that I became used to. I logically know that I no longer have to fear and stress over things, but I can't help it. I fear that she would contact me and hurt me again. I fear for my little brother's safety. I fear everything about her. She terrifies me. And I know that she could not hurt me or my brother anymore, and that she is just another human being, but fear is a feeling, not a logical thing to me. Can you help me with my feelings of fear? Are there any techniques that help with that? Or is it just time? Yeah, time helps, but how we process that experience is what it's all about. It can get worse as you remember it and think about it in an unhealthy environment where you don't feel good, with nobody help around you and understand things. That experience could get worse and start damaging you even more. And you can get so focused on it that that's all you care about for the next 20 years. Okay? Or this experience can get better in time. Okay? But it's about how what do you do with it? What do you do about it, right? That's how it'll get better in time. So we need time. It takes time, right? But it's about how do you react? What do you do about this experience? First of all, and I mean this, get some professional help, please. I'm very aware of the damage that an abusive mother can do to her daughter. Very damaging. It's a horrible, horrible thing to see, to witness, to be aware of, to watch. It's horrible. It is. And I've seen over and over and over again the damage that it causes to women when they're adults. You have so much fear, and you said you realize logically you don't need it, so we need to process these things that we're fear of. You are not processing this emotion correctly. So learn what processing emotion means and just keep doing it. Your brain has built up a pathway that it takes every time. You're dealing with the same choices, and you keep feeling the same way because you're doing the same thing. We need to change our thought patterns, and that's not easy. We can do that with our actions over time. So this is about being very aware and conscious of your choices and what you're doing and how you're feeling. So we can say, yes, I realize, the first step in processing emotion is what is it? So you acknowledge you have fear, but you're not doing it well enough after that. The point is to define what am I afraid of, and you're just saying your mother. You're just saying your mother generally hurting you, showing up, stuff like this. You got to be more specific. What exactly are you afraid of? What can you do about it? And do something about it if you can. And if you can't do anything about it, you need to realize and accept it. Let it go. Okay? We may have to keep doing this because you're not used to this. But as you do this, and your experiences end up more positive result, your brain will say, oh, it works. That's good. I like that. And you'll be more open and willing to do it again. Not so scared. Okay? Hope that makes sense, but you need help. You're going to need help to do this. I can see that. I can see that. Get that help. Okay? Good luck. Thanks, Vivian. I'm going to stop this video here, the part 1, and leave the rest for part 2. Thanks, guys. If you could help me, what I'm trying to do is make this information attainable and reachable for all those victims out there that need it. There's a ton I'll never reach, but this information, it's not necessarily mine that will help them, but it might be mine that just sends them in the right direction that will get the help, or they will get the help they need. So just activity, voting and commenting and sharing, posting and stuff like this really helps. You can help save a life. Thanks, guys. I'll see you in part 2. Bye.